Welcome into PrepZone Gametime Playoff Preview, presented by Bevill State Community College. I'm Brett Elmore, WJLX 101.5 FM, alongside Johnathan Bentley, the sports editor here at the Daily Mountain Eagle. And Johnathan, it is the second season. The playoffs are here.
Man, we finally made it.
We've got 4 teams, a couple of 1A squads, a 3A team and a 4A team in it, and the rest are getting ready for basketball.
Yeah, those other helmets were somewhere else.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had spaces for them.
Yeah, we did.
We could have had 8.
Yeah, that's right. And if we didn't have space, we were just going to wear them, because we would do that if we had enough playing this coming Friday night. But no, we have 4 teams left. But let's get into segment number 1. The player of the week, and you're talking about a kid who had just a terrific season overall. That is Keyvon Samuel.
Yeah, he's had a great career.
Yeah.
You know? I remember when he first got here, he was known as a DB.
Yeah.
I think he was an all-state DB, maybe as a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And now they need him as an offensive weapon. He can do everything. This kid really needs to play at the next level. He
really does, and he may get an opportunity to do that. But earlier in the week, you had a chance to sit down with the player of the week, Keyvon Samuel.
Okay, we're joined this week by Keyvon Samuels, our player of the week in the last week of the season. Keyvon, another great game this week.
Yes, sir.
Was that one of your better games, would you say?
Second. I want to say second. I want to say Mars Hill was my first better game than best we see, so I'm going to say that's one of my second best games.
So the opener and the closer.
Yes, sir. That's weird, kind of.
All right, so what do you guys say about the senior season? I know it probably wasn't as quite as good as y'all hoped.
Man, I thought we was going to go to the playoffs, but, you know, everybody loses. But I'm just glad I just played, and we all played, so we finished it off strong. We played well through most of the games, and that's it.
What do you think is your strength when you have the ball in your hands?
Speed. Speed kills everywhere. I look up to Devontae Smith. That's what I watch before game day. Is speed kills, and that's part of my strength is my speed.
And I guess like Devontae, you don't have to be. That shows that you don't have to be the biggest guy.
Right.
As long as you've got speed, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't get those hits. Is there a play that jumped out to you that was your favorite last game?
Kickoff return. What made me best receiver, I made a kickoff return when they came down and scored. And I told Coach Dora we'd get one right back, Coach. And hopefully they kicked it to me, and we returned it in the middle. Everybody blocked for me, and I scored.
Did you just get out in the open?
Yes, sir. I just try to find the holes that Coach Darwin made up for us. So,
has anybody ever tracked you down?
Plenty of time, but it's always be towards the end of the touchdown where I run out of gas, where it's always be like they almost give me, but I get in the end zone.
What are you going to remember most about the senior season?
Practice, games. I'm definitely going to miss the coaching staff. All of them. They pushed me through it since my sophomore year, and it's kind of sad that it's all gone, but Lord's will, I play somewhere in college.
Oh, is that your hopes now?
Yes, sir.
So has it hit you yet that you're done with high school? You're not going to play on the field?
It ain't hit me right now. It ain't hit me. It probably hit me Friday when I go watch somebody play in the playoffs.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck going forward.
Thank you.
That was a PrepZone Player of the Week interview with Keyvon Samuel. And Keyvon, just an overall great kid.
Yeah, good. You know, they have a lot of offensive weapons, and he's one of them.
Let's get into the first playoff game coming up. Dora at Brooks, probably the toughest test of any Walwyn area team. Dora on the road to E.D. Redding Stadium. Brooks, very good program, undefeated, and Coach Chavis Williams and his team 6-4, but Brooks 10-0 on the season.
You know, they played a couple years ago. Somebody pointed that out. Well, probably about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And Cody Staten went off, the running back. And, you know, I just don't put a lot of faith in these North teams. They haven't played the schedules.
That's right. You're talking about 2011. Dora won that game by 20, 34-14. Dora, their 4th playoff appearance in the last 5 seasons, pretty good.
Yeah, they'd like to get that. It'd be nice for Chavis to get that win in the first year.
Chavis in his first year, Brad Black in his 7th year at Brooks. So he's really got that program going up there in North Alabama.
Yeah, he's got something going on. I mean, every year now you see Brooks. Used to not be that way, but yeah, You go 10-0, you beat somebody. You've done what you're supposed to do.
A big matchup in the north. It's Dora at Brooks, and Johnathan had a chance to chat with Coach Chavis Williams.
All right, we're joined with my Coach Williams this week, heading into the playoffs. Coach, what's your feelings going to Brooks?
It's around here. It's really good feeling. You know, we treat this like no other week, but it's a big deal. The season starts over 0-0. I think we know a lot more about ourselves than we did at the beginning of the year, and the kids have really bought in. And you know, we have the scoreboard hasn't shown it, but we have improved every week from game one to now, and we still haven't peaked all the way yet. So I think that's a scary thing too. So I look forward to going up to Killen, Alabama Friday night. It's going to be a really big test for us. They're a very quality opponent, and I just like the guys that we got in our room, though. So I go to war with them any day.
Brooks, do they remind you of any opponent y'all played this year?
Yes, you know, a little good hope-ish with a little throwing ability of Elmore. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of going to be a test. They got a really good quarterback, really good quarterback. You turn on the film, the first thing you notice is how hard he competes. You know, he don't mind throwing his shoulder in there. That's rare what you see from a quarterback. Have a really good receiver. Number one, Canute Wood, really good. They play well defensively. They're just a solid 4A playoff team.
Now, talk about, you said this team hasn't peaked. When did you think it was those tough region games where y'all started playing your best, even though y'all lost, I think, 1 by 3, 1 by 1 point?
Yes, you know, that's going along with learning how to win. You know, that comes with it. And this previous week, West blocked another quality opponent, and we was able to close that game out. But yes, I do think our region goes up there with any region in Class 4A as far as competition from top to bottom. I mean, it was decided by, I think the region was decided by 19 points when it was all over and done with, from top to bottom. And there's really good teams in this region, and I had to be proud of our kids for fighting, you know, all the way to the end, even though the scoreboard a lot of times didn't reflect that. But we always say we want a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter, and we did that. So I think this region has prepared us for this upcoming game.
So y'all really aren't your typical 4 seed, would you say?
Well,
Because usually the 4 seed kind of sneaks in.
Yeah, on that accord, yes, you're right. We're definitely more than worthy, but I will say we didn't make the plays when we were supposed to, so no complaining over here about where we are in the playoffs. We're just going to start out. The season starts over. What you done last weekend before does not matter anymore, and you know, these games now come down to who's going to make the least mistakes, who's going to block better, who's going to tackle better.
You feel like this is like a strength versus strength thing, their offense against y'all's defense this year?
Yes, I do, because they have a really explosive offense, and we haven't gave up a lot of big plays this year, but we are going to get tested. This is the most we're going to get tested in the secondary from week one, you know, with the kid from Cordova. He was a really good passer, so we really have to make sure that our feet and eyes are in the right place. But I do think it's an even match, and it's going to come down to 4 or 5 plays, turnovers, you know, taking care of the ball, not giving up big plays. So special teams is going to be very key in this game. It's supposed to be 39 degrees at kickoff, so ball security is a must. It's going to come down to who can handle it the best.
How much pride do you take in first year getting the team to the playoffs at Dora?
It's a big thing to me. You know, anywhere you're a place with big expectations, of course, playoff is number one. We set goals before the year, even though we didn't, and I told the kids Sunday, we didn't reach host the first round of playoffs, but, you know, that wasn't the path that the good Lord wanted us to take, obviously. So, what a better way to go on the road. I mean, we should be used to it. We played on the road 7 times this year, you know, so we should be used to that. In the region games, I tell them all year, treat them like playoff games. So, I'm overly excited about the opportunity that we have in front of us.
I mean, yeah, that's true. When's the last home game y'all played?
October 1st against Fultondale.
So a month ago. Mm-hmm. Wow, it's been a while. So y'all are the true road warriors. You expecting a close game? Think it'll be low scoring?
Yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring. Defense going to play really well on both times. And it's going to come down to what do you do after the first quarter, because, you know, it's going to be a lot of emotions. Those guys, and don't discredit them, they've won some close games this year. They've shown they can win close games. So I do think that it's 2 evenly matched teams, and it's going to come down to those things I spoke beforehand. Hopefully the Bulldogs come out on top.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good luck this week.
Appreciate you guys.
Coach Chavis Williams of the Dora Bulldogs. And Johnathan, he seems to be fairly confident that his team can go on the road and beat this Brooks team.
You know, I think it all goes back to their defense.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, last 4 probably. They've had 2 shutouts since they lost to their last loss, I guess, was Aniana. Then they lost to Get Open at a Wall. Mm-hmm. Those were really good teams, and they lost close games. They really needed that win last week. But that defense, it'll keep them in almost any game.
The defense is playing well, that's for sure. Let's stay in East Walker County. Sumiton Christian in Class 1A going to go on the road to Winterboro. 7-3 Sumiton Christian, Winterboro 6-4 on the year. And Coach Powell has led them to 2 playoff appearances in a row at Sumiton Christian. And they've got a good chance on the road, I think.
I think so, too. Had you ever heard of this team, Winterboro?
Winterboro, no, not really. No, not really.
I mean, they're Sumiton Christian has lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was to 2 good teams. And I like their chances going here.
They lost to 2 really good teams, and that's probably going to help them, actually, going into this first game on the road at Winterboro. And they play well on the road.
And if you take away that last play, they win that game. It was that close.
Yeah.
One play. You were there.
Final play of the game. Yes. And it was very close. But this is the first meeting between Sumiton Christian and Winterboro. And once again, Johnathan had a chance to sit down with the head man at Sumiton Christian, Coach David Powell.
Okay, we're joined by Coach David Powell at Sumiton Christian, heading into the playoffs this week, Coach. What's your feelings facing Winterboro?
Well, I'm excited to be in the playoffs. We've had a good year. The players are excited about the opportunity. Winterboro's got a lot of speed. Our focus is kind of tackling and trying to prevent the big play. They've had a lot of big plays this year. They kind of live and die with the big play, it looks like to me. And so, our focus is kind of, tackling and not letting them get behind us and prevent the long pass. So, should be a good ball game, and our guys are excited about the opportunity.
Does this team remind you of anyone y'all played this year already?
Not really.
Not faced a whole lot of passing teams, right?
Not really. We have not faced, and they're not necessarily a passing team. I would say they're still a run first team, but they're very quick to start throwing it. I would say like a 60 run, 40 pass ratio, but their athleticism, their speed with their receivers and running backs, that's always a concern at any level. Can you contain them? Can you tackle them? Can you prevent the big play? And so that's kind of been our focus.
Okay, what about the last 2 weeks? I know tough loss last week, but do you like the way you are playing heading into the postseason?
I like the way we played against Meek. I felt like we played tough. Meek's a strong, big running team, and I knew it was going to be a challenge. But I do like our competitive spirit, our fight, even though we came up a little short. I do like the way we battled. So I do think the team is they're not ready for this to be over with, and it doesn't have to be over with Friday. Everybody give a little bit more. We got a chance to win the ball game and move on to round 2.
That's the thing. Are y'all healthy heading into this last game?
We are. This is probably the healthiest we've been since early in the season. So that's a huge plus to get all you guys healthy, feeling good. I think it helps morale of the team. So that's definitely going to give us our best shot.
What will it take to make a little run here?
Obviously, our defense has got to play big. We got to prevent the big play. We can't let them just, hit some big plays on us and get a lot of easy scores, easy points. I would like to see our run game, have some success, ball control, and maybe shorten the game a little bit, limit their opportunities. I think those two things together, is a good pathway for this team to win moving forward. Again, the competitive fire I think is there, and that's what I like, and that's what I'm glad to to see that these boys are ready to win a playoff game, move on to round 2.
I guess it helps having a big core of seniors on a team like this too, doesn't it? 14 seniors.
It does. 14 seniors. They seem to be good friends and get along, and there's been no drama behind the scenes. It's been a really fun year, a really fun group to coach. Like I said, I mean, half the teams are done, and our body of work, we got us in. The seeds really don't mean a whole lot other than home field advantage round 1. So it's just going out and putting forth your best effort and giving yourself a chance to win the game, try to capitalize on any mistakes that they might make and limit ours, penalties and turnovers, and we just need to play a real clean game, tackling and win the turnover battle and no penalties.
All right, well, good luck, Coach, and hopefully I'll make this is just the start of things this year. Hopefully.
Appreciate you guys coming out.
All right, thanks.
Your story starts at Bevill State Community College. Whether you are just starting out or starting over, Bevill State has an opportunity that is right for you. With 5 locations serving 7 counties, you don't have to go far to start your own success story. Plus, with tuition lower than 4-year colleges, you won't need to spend more for a great education. Visit us online at bscc.edu to learn about your options for seamless academic transfer and high-demand career tech and health science offerings. Let us help you tell your story.
Our thanks to Bevill State Community College for sponsoring PrepZone Gametime Playoff Preview Show. Here with the Daily Mountain Eagle, I'm Brett Elmore from WJLX 1015. He is the sports editor, Johnathan Bentley. And Johnathan, let's stay in 1A. Meek at Ari Hubbard. It's our game of the week on WJLX 1015 FM. We'll also be simulcasting on WJBE 88.5, so we'll have the game on the radio. Going to be a good one, I think. 7-3 Meek on the road at Ari Hubbard, 6-4. Hubbard, though, a traditional powerhouse in 1A.
We remember it as Cortland.
That's
when
right.
They were, every year Parrish would get put out by Cortland. Seems like.
Yeah, it seems like.
Yeah, but I do like Meek, and I do like their chances in this game. This is not your old Cortland. I mean, I think Meek would be the favorite. If they had high school lines, I would put Meek up.
I would too, and Meek's first playoff appearance since 2017, so they're excited. The community's excited. I think the team, in talking with Coach Powell, we'll hear from him in just a second, the team has had a good week of practice. They are injury-free, which is good for a 1A squad. And something else that they have going for them is most 1A teams, their players play both ways, not at Meek. They have enough to go on offense and defense.
The funny thing is, if you look at that roster, there's a few seniors on there. There's not a whole lot of seniors on this team. I mean, this is a start of something with Coach Powell here. These kids love them, and they're also very good.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand this year.
Yeah, they are very good, and they're going to be good for the next several years. Like you mentioned, I think they only have 3 seniors. But I had a chance to sit down in Arley with Coach Houston Powell, and here is the head coach of the Meek Tigers. Coach, once again, appreciate your time, and here we are, postseason party. It's a new season. Throw the record out the window, even though you did finish 7-3. Pretty nice.
Yes.
I like to call you guys the pride of Winston County.
We love that.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. But you guys have earned it. And talk about your team and the success this year. You were one of those teams I was reading earlier in the week, one of just a handful of teams that went from a season like you had last year with only, 1 win, I think?
Yep.
And then turn it around and make the playoffs. Just talk about this transition.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of it goes out for our kids and our community with just buying into the program and the culture that we brought here. taking a job like this, there's not a pressure to win right away. But there was a lot of talent here. It just needed to be used in the right ways. And I think that when we hit the weight room pretty hard this offseason, we took our summer program extremely serious. We faced some team camps that were 3 and 4As to see that better competition. And then when you get in the season, our thing was, a lot of coaches, a lot of high school coaches don't like to talk about championships, because if you don't win a championship, it's like, well, we haven't met any goal, like the season's ruined. That's all we talk about here is being a championship mentality, everything that we do. And my thing is that you don't go into the profession and you don't play this sport unless you're trying to win championships. So we talk a lot about that. And I think our kids truly started to believe that when we won that first game, and it was a blowout win. And then we have then we go into overtime with Winston County, and then we win another one, and then we win another one. And I think the more that we win and the more that we got through this season, the more our kids started to think we do have a good program and we can do this. And that just kind of sparked numerous things that have built to our success this year.
We talked earlier in the season, you were talking about taking this job as the head coach a couple of years ago now, and you talked about wanting to build a program from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. Talk about the kids. When I was here for the Sumiton Christian game last week, and we'll get into that here in a minute, but it was senior night, mm-hmm. but there were just a handful, maybe 2-3 seniors on the team.
Yep.
Talk about what they have meant to you, but talk about the building process and what it means to have so many youngsters going to be coming back next year.
Yeah, I think our seniors, got them as a junior last year. They were all starters for us, and then leading into their senior year, my main point to the seniors were, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to go out? Do you want to go out as just a mediocre class that just played at Meek, or do you want to be a part of something special, saying, 20 years from now when you bring your kids back here, hey, I helped the building blocks to that program, and we did this, and we did this. And so they really took that to heart, that they wanted to be part of a legendary program and start from the ground up. So they've done a great job for us, and I think it's great. We only have 3 seniors on this team. We've only got to replace 1 guy next year on defense, and we've only got to replace 2 guys on offense next year. So now they're going to be hard to replace because they're great players for us. But having a young group like that, I think allows us to know that the future's still bright here. We can still be successful, and it's just like we just reload. And so that's a good feeling, and having that senior leadership has really helped us move in the direction that these younger kids need to be able to see, so that when they take the reins next year and the year after, they've had a good role model to really filter that in the way that we needed to go with this.
Let's talk about Ari Hubbard, mm-hmm. a traditional powerhouse in 1A football. You mentioned Cortland, you mentioned Ari Hubbard, you think of championships, mm-hmm. you think of hard-nosed football. Mm-hmm. Going to have to go on the road for the opening game of the playoffs. First of all, what do you tell your team? This is mm-hmm. an experience for them. What have you told them? I
think the one thing is enjoy the ride. Number one, you've made the playoffs. Half of 1A didn't make the playoffs. They've turned in their equipment this week, and you're still playing 48 minutes of football. And our thing is that you've got to play hard for 48 minutes to get 48 more minutes, and that's the rest of this season. And so we've had a good week of practice. Going into Ari Hubbard, when you watch them on film, the first thing out of your mind is, man, they've got athletes. And then when you start breaking the film down, you start to realize that, if we just play sound football, if we play sound football on defense and we play sound football and protect the ball on offense, we're going to be fine. We're going to do what we do. I think with a game like this, our defensive ends have got to do a great job of keeping that quarterback in the pocket. I think they got to do a great job of when they get a down block, they've got to sit. So if the quarterback pulls that football, we can play flat down the line. And I think our secondary's got to do a really good job of staying in their zone coverage, whether we're spinning the coverage or whether we're playing man coverage. We've got to stay in coverage because that guy's going to run around and try to make an explosive play. And then on the offensive side, we've just got to have the mindset of everybody in the entire state of Alabama knows we're running the football. There's no denying that. We are going to run the football. So they know what's coming. Ari Hubbard has worked all week to stop our run. And it is are you going to put up or are you going to shut up? So we've got to fire off the football. We've got to get on our blocks. We've got to create lanes, and we're going to have a good night if we do that.
Talk about what Hubbard does offensively. You've touched a little bit on it, but they throw the football primarily?
Yeah, they're about 60-40 throw run, but they are a spread team. They like going in 2x2, 3x1. They like to spread it out, use their speed. They've got a quarterback. They got a mobile quarterback, got a decent arm, pretty good runner. So they like, if they ever run the ball, they like to get it outside. That's kind of their main thing. Now they will run some inside stuff, but they like to get the ball outside. They like to throw the deep ball. Probably about 70% of his throws is more than 20 yards. They like to create those explosive plays. When that doesn't work, they like to get in heavy sets like the old wishbone. They like to get in some overload sets and just try to get numbers on you and just try to get the edge. So offensively, we've just got to do a good job of limiting the explosive plays. And then when we get them out of the spread and they go to the wishbone, we just got to swarm to the ball and not allow them to get more numbers on the edge than we already have.
Talk about the week of practice for your team this week, and also another thing that happens this time of year, injury situation. Talk about the week of practice and how are you on the injury front?
Right now, everybody's healthy, so which is good because we've just finished Wednesday's practice. So tomorrow's a walkthrough. So right now we're going to be headed in the game all healthy. So that's really good for us, especially after you've played 10 football games. But I just feel like that when our team knows what's coming, we've talked about it all week. We've had a great week of practice. Monday was good. Tuesday was good. Today was good. I think our kids can feel it. This place has not won a playoff game since 2003. And since 2003, they've only even made the playoffs 3 times. So to win a playoff game and to take this thing as far as we want to take it as a program is going to be huge. And I think the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric on Friday night.
I do too, and that leads me to my final question for you, the community. Well, the support this year. I mean, you can feel it just riding into town, into Arley. This town's proud. I was talking to a guy who graduated from Meek High School 100 years ago, it seems like. But he was talking about listening to the Sumiton Christian game the other night on radio, and he said, man, he said, I just love, what they're doing up there now, but just the support you've gotten from this community.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, this town loves high school football. They love being a part of something. They also like being a part of winning. I mean, who doesn't? I just think this town has finally got a team that they can really get behind and have confidence in, that we're not just making the playoffs. We're not just going to enjoy making the playoffs. Like, we're going to win. And they expect that, and they have confidence, and they back us, and they support us, and they travel well. And I think that's an awesome feeling, knowing that people in the stands are not just showing up to clap their hands and to say that they were a part of it. Like, they're showing up because they feel that we're going to win this football game, and it hasn't happened since 2003, and I want to be there to be a part of it. And it's been an incredible week for us.
Coach, appreciate your time and good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
Always have a good time talking with Coach Houston Powell there in Arley, and he's young, he's energetic, and he's got this team from actually a great story statewide, because just a handful of teams going from one loss last year to now playoff bound.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, if you go back when it's hired, a lot of people are probably like, why would you go there?
Yeah.
I mean, they were 0-10, then 1-9, and I think it's the energy,
Yeah,
the kids feel that, and they feed into it, and they just got it rolling. I mean, just like that. Took 1 year, and boom, here they are.
The only team in the Wallwind area that's going to be at home, the Oakman Wildcats, and Coach Ryan Hall. Of course, a 3A team, 3A bracket. This is Oakman's 11th straight playoff appearance, and they'll be at home against a 5-5 team in Colbert Heights.
Yes, I mean, I like their chances being at home. It's been a while since they've been at home in the first round, but this is a team, if they play like they have been, especially Cordova last week, I think they'll take care of business.
Even though Oakman has never beaten Colbert Heights in the history of their program. But you had a chance to sit down with Oakman coach Ryan Hall earlier in the week.
We got Brian Hall. Thanks for being here. Heading into the playoffs this week. Fired up for that?
Absolutely. We're excited, and who wouldn't be fired up for that, right? It's a new season, 0-0, and so everything's starting over, and we're fired up and ready to go.
Now, I know, went to 5 last year. How nice is it to be home against Colbert Heights this season?
I mean, the home deal is obviously a big deal for our community and for our kids. I think that's neat for them to be able to play it here and you know, in front of other people, not just our football players, but our band, our cheerleaders, you know, our students, you know, for them to be able to come out in a playoff game and enjoy that. That's part of the high school experience. So it's, you know, it's nice as a football team, but it's also big for, you know, many other groups in the community. So we're excited about that. But as far as the game, you know, you go to Fife, you're going to play good people in the playoffs. And so, you know, you just have to, you got to try to do, whoever does right longer, you know, is going to be the one that prevails at this time of year. So that's what we believe. But it is exciting to have one here.
Yeah, it's been a while. First round at least.
Yeah. So I think, what is 2014? Is that right?
That's right.
So
now y'all haven't lost since the Winfield game. That's 6 in a row. Would you say y'all are peaking at the right time?
I hope so. I mean, it's hard to kind of, when you're in the middle of a football, it's hard to see the, you know, are you peaking, are you not? But I think we've gotten better, and I think our kids made a commitment after that week, and coaches, you know, that we were going to focus on getting better each week, and I think we've done that. I think there's some areas that we've improved dramatically, and then, you know, we've dealt with some adversity. You know, there's some things that have happened that have been tough, and, you know, the kids responded and bounced back, and, you know, I think there's some great lessons in this for them, and they've done a good job of responding to those lessons.
How much does the schedule y'all played prepare you for this? Having Cordova, Gordo, Winfield?
I think there's no doubt it helps us. You know, we want to play the people that are going to prepare us for the back. You know, we're not trying to schedule to set the record for wins. You know, we're trying to prepare a schedule that is going to help us beat the people we need to in our region, and then help us perform, you know, in November and early December. That's kind of the philosophy we have. So we want to play good people and people that are going to challenge us. And, you know, in those non-region games, we want it to be like a playoff game, you know. So when we get to this point, you know, we've had to prep and really get ready for a big game, and so, you know, I think it has helped us.
All right, now I always kind of think of Oakman as a finesse team, but then you watch Cordova game, and it's not finesse. That was just a hard-nosed football, wasn't it, last week? Yeah,
I think that, you know, we want to be able to do a lot of things on, you know, but, you know, so many things dictate, you know, how you play the game, and there's times where we're going to have to throw the ball. We know that we're going to have to get and spread, and, you know, try to spread people out and throw it around. But, you know, I think we've hung our hat the last probably 4 or 5 weeks on playing really good defense and physicality at the point of attack, and then running the football. And, you know, the bottom line, I think, you know, people have always said this, and it probably holds true. You know, late in the year when the weather changes, it gets cold and rainy and wet, and it gets tougher to throw, and you better be able to run the football. And so, you know, I think it's key for us to be able to do that. But I've been proud of our kids. I think we've been physical, very physical and tough, and, you know, hard-nosed for several weeks, and that's who we want to be. That's what we want our identity to be.
Yeah, it seemed like both teams were like that. Y'all were kind of like play Cordova football last week a little bit.
Obviously, and I said this, you know, after the game, but we have a ton of respect for their kids and their tradition, and, you know, they're tough and hard-nosed, and, you know, they come from people that are tough, and, you know, so as a fan, I'm sure that was a really good game to watch. As a coach, it's, you know, it's mine, you know, you're all over the place, but yeah, that's the kind of brand of football we want to play too.
Does Colbert Heights remind you of a team y'all played this year?
I think they're very similar to the teams in our region. I mean, just, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes when you're watching people play, people you don't know a lot about, or size and things like that, but they're very well coached. Like, you can tell that. They play with good technique, and they're going to get lined up on defense to you know, you're not going to misalign them by shifting or moving, and offensively they do a lot of things. They're very multiple, which can present you some problems in your preparation. But yeah, they reminded me that I think they, you know, when you look at them, they look like a lot of the teams in our region.
Okay, how was preparation different this week?
And it's not. I mean, it's no different. You know, we're going to do what we always do on Monday. And that's funny you asked that, because that was a conversation I had with the kids Monday is, you know, this is just like we prepared week 0 the same way to prepare you for this moment. Like, every week we prepared like it was a first round playoff game, and so it really doesn't change for us. Somebody told me one time, you know, if you take a 2x8 and set it on the ground, a 10-foot 2x8, and walk across it, you'd do that with no problem. But if you took that 2x8 and you put it 60 foot up in the air, you wouldn't walk across it. You know what I'm saying? You'd be scared to do it. And why is that? It's the same thing. You're just walking across it. Well, the difference is the consequences are greater. If you fall off it from 60 feet, it's a whole lot different than falling off it on the ground. And that's kind of the way I've tried to tell a kid, like, because everybody else says it's a big game, don't step up. Just do what we've done. Just keep preparing the way we've been preparing. And so for us, like I said, Monday's what we do the same thing on Monday we did last Monday. We did the same thing today we did last. The practice schedule's the same. It's just, we hope that our preparation every week is playoff caliber. So for us, it just, that's the truth. That's not coach speak. That's really how we do it.
Can you tell the community's a little more amped up now and in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're excited. Home game and coming off a big win and winning gets people excited. That's just about winning is what makes people excited. And so we've won several weeks in a row, and so you get more people coming out and patting on the back. And that's something we gotta. Complacency makes you disregard the things that you did to get there sometimes. So that's a battle we got to fight too. But this Oakman's a great community. We've got great support in the school. The people in this community, they love high school football, and you can already tell there's people already set stuff up now on Tuesday. But yeah, it's really unique here, and that's what makes it special. I think is there ain't places all over the state like this. There are places all over the state like this, but they're few where this town shuts down and people get excited about it, and Friday they can't wait for Friday night. So we're just blessed to be in a place where it's important like that.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
PrepZone Game Time is presented by Bevill State Community College. And Kilgore Green Funeral Home.
Welcome back into PrepZone Game Time Playoff Preview. It is time for our picks. I'm Brett Elmore from WJLX 101.5 FM, and reason why I'm here is because the publisher of the Daily Mountain Eagle, James Phillips, has been under the weather and is currently in the hospital at Walker Baptist, and we wish him the very best and hope he gets well soon. But he's checking in as a trooper from Walker Baptist with his picks this week.
Hey everybody, James Phillips here. I'm broadcasting live from Walker Baptist Medical Center from my hospital room. I didn't want to let everybody else have all the fun, so I wanted to give some picks this week. Let's go straight into it. We've got Brooks and Dora. Dora's traveling to Brooks. Brooks undefeated. Dora has played well against good teams, but I've got to go with Brooks. I hope the Bulldogs can pull out the victory, but I'm going with Brooks. All right, and then we've got Meek traveling to Ari Hubbard. Ari Hubbard's a perennial powerhouse. Haven't been as good lately. Meek, what a turnaround this year. I really wanted to pick Meek in this one, but I'm going Ari Hubbard. I think just the history of the program, they've got a little more playoff experience. Meek's done a great job, but I think Ari Hubbard's going to win it. Sumiton Christian traveling to Winterboro. I've never heard of Winterboro. It sounds like a chewing gum. But I'm picking Winterboro to win. Sumiton, just like kind of where Meek is at. It's quite a turnaround, but I think Winterboro picks up the win. And then we've got our one host team is Oakman hosting against Colbert Heights. Oakman's going to win this game. Oakman, being a 2 seed, getting the host at home. Can't wait to see the Wildcats really. I think they're going to put it on them. I think this is going to be a 2-3 touchdown game. Let's hope everybody wins this week. I'd love to see all 4 teams go undefeated. Let's hope that I miss 3 of these games. That would make me extremely happy. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. We've talked about my health issues the last few weeks, so I got stuck back in the hospital for a couple days. I would definitely appreciate any prayers, thoughts, good vibes that you want to send, and hopefully all of our teams win this weekend.
Johnathan and I will be giving our picks for the 4 games, and let's start. Why don't we just go left to right? How about
Sounds
that?
perfect.
Let's start out with the Meek Tigers at Ari Hubbard. I call them the pride of Winston County, the Meek Tigers. They have earned it this year. They really have. I mean, if I would have said at the beginning of the year, Meek is the only team in Winston County out of Winston County, Addison, Lynn, and Meek to make the playoffs, what would you have told me?
You are crazy.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
way.
Yeah.
I would have gave Lynn a better chance probably.
Yeah.
They won 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this for Winston County. They are the county champ.
That is true.
And they need to be printing up shirts if they haven't already.
That's right. So, Coach Mitchell, there you go. There's your kudos. You're the county champs. But Meek has made the playoffs, and congratulations to them. They're going on the road. We talked about it earlier. Traditional power, Ari Hubbard. Who have you got?
I picked Meek. I just like the way they're playing. Could be some, location bias here, but I really want them to do well.
Yeah, I do
also, I mean, we're cheering for Powell and those kids. It's been so long. They haven't won a playoff game since '03, which I couldn't believe. So these kids, I mean, I don't even know if they were born the last time they made the playoffs. So I am taking them to win. Let's go on and break that streak 18 years later.
Let's break the streak. And Meek, I like Meek. I'm a little concerned about Ari Hubbard. They pass the ball about 60% of the time. I'm a little concerned. They have a lot of athletes, and I don't know which Ari Hubbard's going to show up, really. They've been kind of Jekyll and Hyde this year. I'm also concerned that Meek is so one-dimensional.
They're not going to throw it a lot.
They're not going to throw it a lot. So you know that Hubbard has been practicing the run defense all week long. But I do think that Meek is the better team. So I'm going to go with Meek in the first round. I just feel like they're the better team, but I am concerned about this matchup.
I understand that, because if you can stop the run, it's more than one guy. You're going to have to stop all of them. But it's been done, That's how you get them.
But they have a core of really good runners.
Yes.
So, and like Coach said in the interview, he told his kids, they've been practicing all week. They know we're going to run. The entire state knows we're going to run the football. You're just going to have to line up and show them that we're going to run against you, and we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, good luck stopping them, right?
Good luck stopping.
I mean, they're going to throw maybe 10 times. They're not made to come back.
That's right. Yeah, and that's one thing they can't do on the road is get behind at Ari Hubbard. I almost called him Cortland. There you go. All right, so we're both going with Meek. Now let's move to Sumiton Christian, a team that will be at Winterboro. Winterboro's 6-4. They've had a pretty good year. David Powell and his team 7-3. I'll go first this time. I like Sumiton Christian, and I'll tell you the reason why I like the team. I think even though they've lost 2 games in a row, they fought hard. They've had some injuries. Now that's another key in this ball game is the injury situation. If they are healthy, they'll win this game. And I also like the fact that Coach Powell is a veteran coach. He's been doing it a long time. He's been in playoffs many times before. He knows what to do come playoff time. I like the experience. I like Sumiton Christian in the ballgame.
I do as well. It's funny you say that because about health, he said this is the healthiest they've been since the start of the season.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, and they're not one-dimensional.
No.
And they played well last week. And that last game before that just kind of got out of hand. It was on the road, one of these small schools. But Winterboro, I really like their chance. I give them a really good chance to move on. Maybe aside from another team here, I think they have the best chance of winning.
And let's talk about that other team, that being the Oakman Wildcats. Class 3A is where we go. Hosea Collinsfield, the only team in the area going to be hosting a playoff game. So if you're looking for a game to go to, that'll be a good one to go to. Oakman is 8-2 on the year. This is going to be tough for Colbert Heights. They're 5-5. I like Oakman probably better than anyone else on the table. I like their chances of moving to the second round.
I agree. This is the second CHHS. Maybe they beat them like they did Carbon Hill.
Yeah.
50-something to nothing. Just get a win, but I really do like their chance. I like the way they're playing. They're on a 6-game winning streak, which is their longest in a long time. But Coach Hall has this. They're rolling right now. Yeah. And this is not Fife in the first round like it was last year.
No, but they may have sacks in the second round, and that's going to be tough.
Looking at that earlier, that's going to be very tough.
That may be a tough one, but one game at a time, though. One game at a time. But I like Oakman's chances. I think they'll win. All right, and finally, we'll go to Class 4A over in East Walker County. Dora, the Bulldogs under Coach Chavis Williams, 6-4 on the season. Brooks, though, Under Coach Brad Black in his 7th year, he has his team undefeated at 10-0 at E.D. Redding Stadium, 7 o'clock kick. Oh, Chavis. I'll let you go first.
I mean, I do like their chances. As I said, I don't put a lot of faith in these North teams, this is Tuscumbia, I believe, or Killen.
Killen.
Yes, up there. So, I mean, but you're 10-0 for a reason. This is a pretty good team. Dora has so many close losses, and I'm just thinking maybe this will be another one. Yeah. I mean, I am taking Brooks, but I think it'll be close, and I give Dora a chance.
I give Dora a chance, yeah, especially the way their defense plays, but they haven't been able to win the close game.
Not until last week.
Yeah.
15-7, but those every region game was, I mean, down to the wire, 15-14, 17-14. They're going to hold them.
Yeah.
Can they score enough points? That's the question.
I too, I'm going to go with Brooks. I just think they may be a little bit too much on the road. So we have 3 winners in our picks and 1 going away. And let's look at the second round just quickly for you. In Class 1A, the winner of the Meek Ari Hubbard game would play the winner of the Cedar Bluff Woodland game.
I would like Meek, actually. Sumiton Christian played Cedar Bluff, lost by a touchdown at their place.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it'd be a close game, but Meek would have a really good chance there.
And Meek has a good chance of being at home, too, in the second round.
That would be big.
Sumiton Christian, the winner of that game with Winterboro, probably going to play Pickens County in the second round. And
that will be the end of it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the end of it, I'm afraid. We move to Class 3A, Oakman versus Colbert Heights, and we mentioned this, probably going to play Sachs. They play Plainview, and if Oakman wins, I think that game will be in Anniston on the road at Sachs.
That will be very difficult. Sachs is, I think, 9-1 this year.
Yeah, they're ranked in the top 10. And the Dora Brooks winner will take on the winner of the Randolph-Fayette County.
That's another one. A Randolph team you don't hear much about.
Right.
I think they're 9-1 in Huntsville, but again, as I said about these North teams. But I think they would play Fayette, and that would be interesting.
That would be.
If they go by an undefeated team, anything could happen.
Anything can happen. It's the playoffs, and that's why you line them up and play them, that's for sure. We can just pick them, but you never know what's going to happen on a Friday night. All right, Johnathan, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
No, it's just been a great season. Hopefully we have another week of it, at least.
Absolutely. So I have enjoyed my time here. PrepZone Game Time, the playoff preview presented by Bevill State Community College. And, of course, our thanks to Kilgore Green Funeral Home at 1200 Birmingham Avenue here in downtown Jasper. For Jeffrey Winborn, our producer, and for Johnathan Bentley, don't forget to join us on the radio for the Meek game. We will be on the road at Ari Hubbard on WJLX 101.5 FM. Until then, until next week, I'm Brett Elmore. So